Guys, welcome to your 20-minute, this is a complete beginner's movement session. We're going to do a little warm-up in a second, and then we go into a set of 5 exercises, and we're going to repeat those a couple of times. So, let's begin the warm-up. So come down into all fours. We're going to start with what's called a cat to cow. So this is warm-up is just about like prepping the body for some of the kind of more meatier movement exercises. So this cat-cow is about moving the spine, it's flexion to extension. So just slowly kind of moving from each one, rounding the spine and then extending the spine. We're going to do a couple more of each. So this is like a non-impact workout, right? So it's perfect if you've got kind of joint limitations that don't allow you to jump. And if you've never done strength training or haven't exercised for a while, then it's also going to be a good place for you to start. So I'm going into what's called thoracic rotation. So hand on side of head, elbow just taps to the forearm, and then I'm going to twist. This just gives a bit of movement to the mid-back, shoulders, chest. We'll do one more this side now, and then we'll switch that over to the other side. So hand on side of head, look up to the elbow, give me a nice twist, and we're going to do 4 more on this side. 3, 2, and 1. And then we're going to keep the hands where they are, but take one leg, just sweep it out to the side. And then if you feel like you can move a little bit here, so it's like a little rock in motion with the hips, and you will feel this one quite aggressively. Not aggressively. You will feel that like it's quite a strong stretch, so don't be like, oh my legs are so tight, is what I hear. It's stretching anyway, so everyone's going to feel that inner thigh release. So let's do a couple more movements. Jesus Christ, on this one. You're cracking, yeah. Can you hear it? Crack. With cracks, they're always like they're nothing to worry about if they're not accompanied by pain. So if you're particularly cracky, like me, you're a cracker. It's kind of okay as long as it's not like, ow, that is actually a painful crack. Right, one more on this side.
What is actually happening when I'm cracking? Is it my bones?
Yeah, bones or ligaments or tendons, like moving over each other. They can just kind of like cause that. That's how they move. Right, take the feet back, the knees back a little bit more, and then we're going to step the right foot to the outside of the right hand. It gives us a little bit more of a stretch, and that right forearm, drop it towards the floor, and then reach up. And we're going to do 6 of these. So that's 1. Yeah, it's just tissues and ligaments rubbing over each other, or bones.
Having a good old
or it's bones.
Inside me.
And 2 more of these. So dropping down, reaching up, dropping down, reaching up. We're going to switch that over to the other side. So just kind of ease back, bring that leg, hands down, step the foot to the outside of the hand, and then when you're ready, guys, so just drop the forearm towards the floor. Don't worry if you can't get it actually touching the floor. And 4 more rotations on this side. Good. And that's the last one here. We're going to come up to standing. So again, take your time onto the knees. We're just going to finish warming up with what's called like a squat, but a half squat. So if I slightly turn to the side, with squatting, we want the feet to be shoulder width apart, so not too narrow. Equally, we want the toes to slightly turn out. Hands to the front. I'm just going to go down a little bit. I'm not going too low because we are kind of warming up, beginner's strength or beginner's movement. So I'm not trying to sink into full squat. What we want to imagine is that we are sitting down onto a chair or something that's a little bit higher, and then standing back up again. And I'm trying to use like glutes. This is predominantly like a thigh exercise. We want to keep the heels fixed to the floor, so we're not kind of knees coming forward like this. It's the hips that go back and the knees bend at the same time. So let's just do a couple more here.
Just
lovely.
easing you in.
Yeah.
Before
Good.
we go into the harder stuff.
Yeah, so what I'd like you to do now is just have a little drink of water and to hand, or have one. Have some water there, and then we're going to now be doing 5 slightly more challenging movements, and we're going to repeat this 2 times. So you will need a chair. The chair is here. We are going to come behind the chair and place the hands on. Let me just show you this one first. So it's a reverse lunge. You've got an option here, so we're going to use the chair. You can go halfway, so show them halfway, Vix, because you can't. Yeah, so you can go halfway, push into that front leg, or if you feel like comfortable enough, you can get that back knee down to the floor. So see what feels like a doable, challenging movement pattern. If going down to the floor is like, it's too much on the legs, just go halfway down. But that's going to be our first one. So let's get into that one. So it's 30 seconds of work. And then you've got 15 seconds where I'll just go through that next exercise. So this is a really great one for strengthening the legs, the hips, ankles. So let's start stepping back, dropping that knee, keeping everything nice and upright. The chair is there to help you, so do use that to support yourself, maybe help you come back up to standing. So yeah, halfway down with the knee, if you feel like going all the way down to the floor is just like not quite where your body's at in terms of strength. Use the chair for that support. And so we're really building that stability through the knees, the hips, the ankles, which is really important, keeping these muscles nice and strong. So beautiful. Come onto the mat. I'm going to show you this one from the side. So we're going to do something called a reverse fly. We're going to be using just our body weight, and the hands are going to come out like so. We're just going to pause here, and we're going to think about pulling the shoulders back and down. So a couple of seconds pause. Bring the fingers together. Up and squeeze, pull the shoulders away from the ears. So we want to feel the muscles pulling the shoulder blades together. By bending over, you've got the weight of your arms. So just keep going here. And with the back, make sure that we're not rounding. So kind of don't want to see this rounded position. We want to be sticking the bum out so we've got a nice flat mid-back. So we've got enough time to do one more. Brilliant. We're then going to come down to the floor. This is an exercise predominantly for like the core muscles, but you are still going to feel it in the shoulders, maybe the legs.
Cracked again.
Set yourself up in all fours. I want you to curl your toes under. Now just press into your toes and hands together and just lift a couple of inches off the floor. We're going to hold it for a count of 3, 2, 1. Rest. Just a little rest, and then let's come up again. So we're just going to build up. We'll keep doing 5-second holds. 2, 1, come down, and then again up. Hold it for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lovely. And then we're going to stay down, roll onto our backs. We're going to go into an exercise called a glute bridge. So this is for the muscles of your butt. So you want your knees, your butt, knees bent, feet flat down. Tuck your pelvis under, so we kind of round through the pelvis, and let's move. So we go up, squeeze the glutes at the top, your butt cheeks. Hold for a second, come back down. Up and squeeze, come back down. Up and squeeze, come back down. We're just going to keep this tempo, keep the hips nice and level. Try and get up nice and high. Squeeze. Good, you've got 5 more seconds.
This is flying right through, this is.
Lovely. And then we're going to go onto the side. We're actually going to do a little side plank. We're going to keep it on the knees. Now, if you want to roll your mat over, now this just helps cushion your elbows. So let's do our first side. So what I want you to do is on the knees, just push up. Now, if this feels like it's too much of a challenge to get a full 30 seconds in just straight off the bat, I'd get you to hold, come down to the floor, and then repeat. So start to push up, hold, maybe for 5 seconds, come down to the floor, and just keep repeating. If you do this one a few times, your aim is to just start holding for slightly longer periods of time. 3, 2, and 1. And then we come over. We're going to do exactly the same for the other side. And this is going to take us to the end of round 1. And then we're going to go back in to do the same 5 exercises again. So let's go. So I'll just do a slightly modified. You can just hold it, Vix, but if your side planks can be really challenging, so you might want to just start with 5 seconds, up, push away. You want to be feeling this in the side, so just kind of where your ribs, between your ribs and your hips. So right, feel those side abdominals, have to kick in to hold you. And you've got 10 more seconds. Doing well if you're holding this one. Yeah. For the whole duration. Last one. And come out of that one. All right, and then just slowly make your way to the back of the chair again. So we're going to do those reverse lunges. holding onto the chair. So you want to be fairly close into the chair as well, not too far apart and away. And let's go.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. So stepping back, this kind of tempo as well. So we want to see control with these movements. We want to be using the muscles to control all parts of the movement rather than kind of just like dropping into it, using no control, no stability. And then just keep a check on your upper back, as in like your upper body, rather than kind of rounding. I see a bit of this. So keep your shoulders away from your ears, and you got probably one more step to go. That's your first one.
Lovely.
Second exercise, really good for those kind of postural muscles that are going to help you go from this to this, or just keep them functioning and back and down. So we want to go into a bit of a hip hinge, flat back, feet hip distance, and then start to pull your shoulders back and down at the top, and pause for a couple of seconds. Hold and down. Breathing I didn't really mention, but with all of these exercises, you just want to keep breathing throughout. I'm not going to get you to do it.
So easy to hold your breath though, isn't it?
So easy to hold your breath, which is why I laugh. It's reminders for everyone who are really concentrating on what we're doing to just breathe.
Just breathe.
Perfect. Okay, so we're coming into that all fours. It's like a beginner's version of planks. So it's getting us used to kind of holding our body and working those muscles in and around the core. So hands directly under the shoulders, knees slightly apart, curl the toes. Now we lift an inch. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Come down. Take a little breather. Come back up. Hold. 3, 2, 1, and down. And then again, coming up. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and down. And then let's just hold this last one just till the end of the timer, which is now. Okay, over onto your back. So we go into our glute exercise, which is a glute bridge.
We always say for this that you need your bum to look the ugliest. Let's have a look.
Which is what?
Squeezing it
Tuck
tight,
under.
like a little granny bum. Till it's non-existent. It's almost inverted.
Yeah.
Invert your bum cheeks.
Exactly that. She knows.
I know.
She's been doing it
You
enough.
do this for long enough now. So if we say ugly bum, that's what we mean.
Tuck it under, round it.
Get under around it.
How are we doing on time, Vix? Because I can't see.
We've got 3 seconds left.
Beautiful. Done with that one. So we roll over into plank on your side, and again, just roll the mat over a couple of times. Unless you're like doing this on obviously carpet or something, you're on a nice soft surface already, you don't need to roll your mat over. We're just doing that because we want to protect our little elbows. Side plank, body in a straight line. I'm going to do that modified version, so a few seconds of holding, roll back, roll up again. So we're pushing this hip here up and away from the floor. Just maybe doing 5 seconds, so just like that all fours plank, working for a little bit and then taking a short rest. So one more hold. Nearly there, guys. Got one more exercise to do after this one. That is beautiful.
That's it.
And then we're done. Little cool down at the end. So elbow directly under the shoulder, nice and stable, knees bent, and we are in 2, 1, and just start to lift and press up. You also might find with this one side is easier. That's normal. Like one side you might find particularly difficult. Good. So come up. And you've got just over 10 seconds left. So if you're holding, you're doing an amazing job. If you're still up, push your hips up and away from the floor as much as you can. They'll want to sink down. Yeah, we are there.
I'm shaky over it.
All right. That's
Thank
great.
you.
That's amazing. Well done. Thank you for joining us. Come and do the cool down. So a few little cool down stretches and movements. We're going to start in a child's pose, which I'm pretty much in already, but knees apart, feet together. If you're okay to sink your hips back onto your heels, we're going to reach the arms out in front, let the forehead come down to the floor, and then just try and relax. So sometimes we can still hold tension either through like the jaw, the shoulders, the pelvis. So just melt into this stretch and start to take some nice deep inhales through the nose, sending the breath down into the back of the body, and then exhaling slowly through the mouth. 2 more breath cycles, letting all the tension just melt away as you take an inhale to exhale. And then if you slowly start to begin to reach your right arm underneath your left armpit, we're going to take a little side bend of the head, and we're just going to press that arm into the floor. So the back of the right forearm, just press it slightly into the floor, which will release the back of the shoulder. Again, try and stay nice and relaxed through the hips, through the pelvis. Take 1 big breath cycle, inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the mouth. Switching the arms over for me, so pulling that right arm back up, left hand facing up, forearm in the back of the floor. Turn the head slightly just so you're nice and comfortable. You can just press the hand and the forearm down into the floor, just a little, no, not too much of a push. And again, just relax the rest of the body, the hips, the pelvis. Take a big inhale to exhale.
Almost
come
asleep
out there,
Kelly.
I know, it's nice. Right, come up from there. So we're just going to do that thoracic stretch. So we're going to reach out a little bit further, and then we're going to press down again. You can let the head come down. This is a slightly different part of the back that we're stretching, trying to lengthen through those lats, the muscles that wrap around the back and under the armpits. So just take a couple of breaths here, pressing your hands down into the floor as you breathe. Good, and then just bring one hand and then the other hand comes up. We're going to go into pigeon pose. So bring your hands to the top of the mat. If you come into a bit of a plank and sweep your right knee to behind your right wrist, that might be enough for some of you. That might be where your kind of end of range is stretch wise. If you feel like you kind of want to come down to the floor and get a little bit deeper into that stretch, you can. And just make sure everything's kind of comfortable, there's no pain, and then just as much as you can try and relax. So shoulders, again, just kind of melt into it, let the hips, pelvis, pelvic floor just relax, and just take a couple of nice deep inhales, 2 exhales as you're here. Good, and then just coming back up onto your hands, sweep the right leg out. We're going to switch over, so left knee comes just to behind that left wrist. And then if you feel comfortable enough, you can come down to the floor. I'm just going to stay up. So some of you might feel like it's really stretching those deep kind of hip rotators, your glutes at the back. That's fine. You can't just stay here, but kind of just relax into it. So just so you can still relax those shoulders. You don't have to hold any tension. You can relax through your pelvis, pelvic floor and the hips. And then 2 breath cycles. A few more seconds just holding this pigeon pose. And then slowly ease your way out of here. And then we are just going to finish with a slow cat-cow. So just kind of moving the spine from flexion to extension, but going kind of a little bit slower. Maybe you want to kind of hang out here. Maybe this position feels really nice to really pull the shoulder blades to round the spine. Maybe that's where you kind of need to get your spine into to feel that stretch. Maybe you hang out there a bit longer. Maybe that feels good on your abdominals, stretching, I don't know, just keep kind of moving from one to the other. Hang out in any that feel like it needs a little bit more attention and stretch.
It's all feeling good to me.
Yeah,
every bit of it.
Lovely. And we will finish off the workout there. Well done, guys.